This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.
Hello and welcome back to episode 416 of the Daily Saints Pod. My name is Greg, and as always, today joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host Zach. Mate, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate, and I know that we haven't recorded like every episode together, so there's there's probably slightly different numbers for both me and you there. But someone was talking to me earlier today that was like, yeah, I was like, we've got your podcast as well, and I was like, oh yeah, and it's become such an integral part of like my existence at this point that like I don't really talk to many people about it because it's one of those things where like it's like brushing your teeth every day, isn't it? We just record and talk about Saints. That's just part of everyone's life, right? This is normal. And yeah, it really threw me off. But I don't know why that popped into my mind. I thought I would share it as my opening thought. We played Derby, mate. We played Derby County. Probably a good time. You know, I think we're all still buzzing off that Wrexham win, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. How could you not be? Performance like that solid. You think about the potential hangover, I guess, or the potential lethargy that could come into the squad, and they showed no signs of that. And all of the players that were rotated in were brilliant, and the performance was really good. And it's good because we're going to need every single one of those players because we're playing every 4 days between now and the end of the season. Like, I don't know if you've looked at the fixture list, mate, but it's busy.
Yeah, just a tad, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be really, really busy. And I was having a look the last time we played Derby, by the way. So, do you remember what their score was or not?
Was it 1-1?
You're right. It was 1-1. But this is how mad. Like again, we talk about how quick things have changed in such a short period of time. It was 1-1. The goal was scored by Adam Armstrong. Will Still was in charge for that game. I think it was the time that Stuart picked up an injury because 15 minutes in he picked up a yellow card and then he was subbed out for Fellows. But the most bizarre thing is like we have a back four at this point, Greg, but the back four consisted of Edwards at right back, Wood, Kwasi, Manning, McCarthy in goal. Now the middle of the park hasn't changed much with Yander and Charles, but then we had sort of Fraser on the right, Cienza in the middle, Armstrong on the left, and then Stewart in attack. And Flynn Downs came on for 10 minutes. Damien Downs came on for Cienza in 60 minutes. And Azaz got to play 10 minutes behind Ryan Fraser. And you kind of think about how integral he is to the team now. And it's just kind of insane. It's really, really nuts. And it was also their American lad who's just gone out injured with an ACL. He was also the one to score the goal against us. So, it's very, very different time, right? And this was after we got told that it was going to be an easy walkover game against them, right?
Yeah, supposedly so. That was what was said. That was the game, if I recall correctly, straight after the week after the Sheffield United game, right? It was on the Saturday after the Sheffield United game where we won, but just about. And then we went on to play Derby, and then was it international break after that? Yeah, but I think you're right. It's where Ross Stewart got injured. I don't know, you're right. The like dichotomy of the season, almost like the stark contrast between the two parts of the season, are almost frightening. Really, it really goes to show the turnaround that we've had under Tonda, and now, realistically, I think any team in the Championship don't want to come up against us. I don't think that we're a team that Derby are going to want to face this weekend, even with their position in the league. Obviously, they're only a few points behind us, down in 8th. And yeah, like you say, probably exceeding their expectations of how the season was going to go based on the chats we had with our former boss. But yeah, it's a strange time for their form. Their home form is exceptional, right? But it's a bad time for them to come to us because their away form, they've only managed to beat Pompey. Everything else they've lost in the last 5 games away from home. St Mary's is going to be well up for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is our last 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday of the season as well.
God.
Which,
Sure.
which is pretty nuts.
That is
I
kind
don't
of
know if
crazy.
that's accurate. I'll verify. No, look, we're playing Swansea at 3 o'clock on a Saturday as well. That will be our last 3 o'clock on a Saturday kickoff. So yeah, our second last 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday of the season with a busy run in. Their main striker's out. Their other striker that's been scoring goals is Ben Burton Diaz, who can't play against his parent club.
Nope.
So yeah, I mean, all things point to not being a particularly good day out for Derby. Let's just hope that we can maintain this mentality and not be complacent about it. That's the important part.
It's so hard to not just be like, "We should be winning that," right?
Yeah, I'm really struggling with it, mate. I'm really struggling to try and keep grounded and be like, we need to lock in because these are all banana skins. Like, yeah, their away form's poor and they've lost their striker, but they're up and around these playoff positions and challenging with us for a reason. It's not because they're a rubbish team. They've put the across the season in a position to be only 3 points behind us. So, it kind of is an interesting one, but yeah, I kind of feel like despite that, we should still do them, right?
Yeah. like spoiler alert for the end. I very much doubt either of us are predicting a loss for this game, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, how could you with the run we're on? It's just, yeah, it's like I say, impossible to stay grounded because we're flying so high. Unbeaten in 16 now. I think Alfie was saying on TSP that all Tonda has to do to beat the club record for an unbeaten streak is go on and win the FA Cup and the Community Shield, and then it beats the record. So,
yeah, this is the point, right? Like, this is it's. I'm just very, very conscious of not of staying composed and not feeding into just becoming arrogance. Like, we've seen a lot over the last couple of days across multiple different areas of football, multiple different clubs. What happens when you have such ridiculous high expectations of your club
yeah,
and of your players? And if, sometimes people just lose a game, and sometimes that is just the case. A game can be lost that isn't expected. This could be it for us. But like, some of the ways that people reacted, again, like, I bring back to the Arsenal game with the conspiracy theory of the balloons, the reason they lost. I've now seen one knocking around that Cole Aaron was definitely offside. They had VAR, like, they could have called that if they were really concerned. And also, welcome to the life of a championship club anyway, where we don't have to deal with that. And, we talked about that, those connotations in the Wrexham game. It's very, very easy to just get swept up in it. I'm not saying don't enjoy it all. Like, I've been a big, prominent advocate for us to enjoy all of the moments we're getting as a Saints fan. I just really don't like to come into the show and just be like, Derby are rubbish, we should beat them, because that is also like wounded animal syndrome. There's tons of things that,
and it's just not accurate, right? And like you're right. I think it's going to become this season's buzz term, mate. I know that we go through them, but it's belief, not expectation. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I fully believe that we should beat Derby. I don't necessarily expect it. Like I say, they are where they are in the table on merit. We're at the point in the season where those things start to shake out and you find the real position. So they're not up there by a fluke, and just because injuries haven't gone their way and away form hasn't been their way. And in fact, form overall, they've been very good at beating the teams below them and not very good at beating the teams around them. But it doesn't mean to say anything. Anything can happen in 90 minutes. We are the walking proof of that with that Arsenal game, right? And that is, something that we've got to be aware of and got to be open to. But do I expect Saints to carry on and win every single game that's left this season? No, absolutely not. Do I believe we can? Yeah, I kind of do, because this team just has something special about it. There's a real special feeling. So
Mhm.
I'm not ruling it out, but I also will not be surprised if one of these teams, and you know what, it will be the team where we come into the episode like, nah, that's a lot of rubbish. We're not even gonna worry too much about them. We're just gonna steamroll it. Job done. That'll be the team we lose to.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think about the management and the situation of club at the moment is that they are treating every game as important, treating every game as a must-win. We're not seeing any of this. I think we talked about like rotation around like FA Cup and things like that, and we wondered how it would kind of go out. And what we've actually seen is that Tonda is treating every single game as a must-win and putting out full strength sides in every single there's nothing being sacrificed, right? I think that's one of the big bits for me is that nothing is being, we're not starting a bunch of kids in the FA Cup because we don't care because we're concentrating on everything else. And that's
All
what
of
I think I'm
those,
seeing with some other teams is that you're seeing them show that they are not trying to just do the best they can do in every single game, and they're willing to kind of change bits pieces here. Like sometimes obviously rotation takes place because it needs to, but there does seem to be there is a seriousness about it, right? There is
yeah.
okay, right, we've won that game, fantastic job. Let's move on to the next one. Let's win the next one, as opposed to sort of like, yeah, we can take our foot off the gas here. It should be an easy win, this and the other. Like, we're not seeing that. And that's why I think that I'm in agreement with you that it is a belief, not necessarily an expectation.
Well,
Because,
let's be honest. We're very blessed with what we've got because it's all coming together at the right time. All of these players that have kind of been fringe players or have been finding their way back to fitness or not quite fitting in with the system, they've all stepped up into their roles at the right time, right? Six
Mhm.
changes between Wrexham and Arsenal, but honestly, you look at either of those teams and you're happy with that as the first 11, right?
Mhm.
It was not an A team and a B team. It's just that there's so much competition for key places, and that's exactly what we're going to need because of how the fixtures are piling up, right? Literally game every 4 days for the rest of the season. Absolutely fine. We're going to need every single one of them to be stepping up. And so, I mean, I guess that takes us nicely into our predicted lineups, right, and how we see it going. So, do you think, as kind of like a high level view before we get into the nitty gritty and try and name the 11, do you think from this point forward we almost see a weekend group and a midweek group that's going to be rotated, or do you think it's just going to be whatever matches best?
Yeah,
Like
no,
we're going to
I don't think
see
I don't.
Downs and Matsky come straight back out and rotate, for example. Hello, and we are back after some wonderful connectivity and technical issues, largely down to me. Sorry, Zach. Before we cut off, you were saying about rotation, and if you thought we were going to have Saturday and Tuesday teams, or if you think that it's
Yes, that's what we were talking about. Thank. I'm glad you remembered because I was struggling to figure out what we were on. Right, so I don't believe that's necessarily the case, right? Because that isn't the way that Tonda has treated essentially any game. He's never gone. He treats every single game individually. He sees which players fit the best area and the best roles. I don't think he's like you're playing Tuesday, you're playing Saturday. He's already proven that he's willing. He will play the players. He's not just playing them for the sake of it, right? He will play players that he specifically believes. He's not just going, "Oh, we'll give you game time." And I say that in respect to like Quasi, good player, right? I think a lot of people have given him quite a lot of criticism. Clearly, slightly unsettled, potentially going to move on in the summer. I've seen rumours around that because he just wants more playing time. Completely understandable. He was brought in to basically be almost like a replacement for if I think Taylor Harwood-Bellis went or Stevens or whatever. And similar to Ronnie Edwards, right? Ronnie Edwards went because of game time, and he wasn't guaranteed that game time. And I don't think that he's going to rotate for the sake of it. He'll rotate if he needs to, or alternatively, if there's a tactical reason to do so.
yeah,
And this is what I was trying to say in comparison to sort of like Premier League clubs that have got like, oh, we need to make sure this player's fit for the Championship, and this is the people know that they're going to play bit parts this season. I genuinely think that most of the players, there are some sort of exceptions to that rule. Like, I think that we kind of know that unless Archer's playing in almost like the Azaz role because Azaz is knackered, he's not starting over Stewart or Laren, right? Because of
Yeah,
the style of play that Tonda kind of favours. But I genuinely think that in a vast majority of the other positions, it doesn't really matter. Like, Manning almost seemed annoyed the other day when he got brought off for Wellington because he just
which is crazy when you think
just
about how many
nuts because he's played
minutes.
so much football.
Yeah, but I get it. That's the drive and the passion that we're starting to love, and all we've asked
That's what
for
I
that
mean.
for
There's
so
no
long. Just players that care and want to play. Just fantastic.
some of the bits. So from this Derby County game, it's fascinating to read some of just like the comments and some of the anger, like sort of like mid-table on top six budget, so annoyed. Like Will still doesn't know his best 11, and like I think that's the fantastic thing about Tonda is that Tonda knows his players. There isn't a best 11. There
Yeah,
is a best for the situation. He has
yeah,
turned all of the players we still have into the club into contributing members of the team, as opposed to chopping and changing and trying to figure out who works well with who. And like there's comments here, Greg, that say things like Robinson and Archer should be playing. They're so much better. We have no threat. We have no goal threat whatsoever. McCarthy is our number one goalkeeper and must be our number one goalkeeper. It's insane because you think about this was October. Like it wasn't a huge amount of time like
that's
ago.
it.
In football, in terms, it was quite an age. But like when we think about it in comparison to like last season, it's not that long ago,
No,
really. And that's genuinely the vibe that was taking place. But when you talk about sort of like, oh, is he gonna switch up the team? Are we gonna have these people play Tuesday and these people play Saturday? No, I think that he is going to go to every game. He's going to have a plan. If the players that he wants to pick are available and ready and want to play and we're going to put in 110%, then he'll play them. I think the only times that things like might change is that I think he takes advice from the medical team a little bit better because obviously we've seen players that we'd expect like Leo to start some and he's not because of injury. And I can think of like when do you remember that game? I can't remember which game it was where like Russell Martin I think it was against Bournemouth potentially, where he put out Ryan Fraser, who was like so unwell. He was like,
yeah,
"Oh, Fraser wanted to play though." I was like, he managed like 20 minutes, and half of that was just like throwing up his lungs before
yeah.
eventually he got taken off. And then obviously on top of that, like it's very, you know, it's very risky to when you've got someone unwell like that to put them in a room full of blokes like sweating. It's going to be
Packed environment like an
yeah,
away
it's
changing
just
room. Yeah,
yeah, so and
oh,
I don't know if that's just, and again, I think it's because he seems to have a management style that's built more around the team around him and the advice that he takes. It's not entirely down to him. And that is shown from, again, I don't know if it was planned that way or when he had his Manager of the Month award, he had it with the whole staff, right? It wasn't just him. It wasn't just him on his
yeah,
own. It wasn't just claiming credit on his own. And I think that was what we wanted. And that's what we really hoped that when they moved away from the model of a new manager comes in and brings all their coaching staff in and started to pick and choose coaching staff, we kind of hoped this would be the outcome, and this is the outcome. So no, I don't think that we rotate for the sake of it. I think we rotate when it's necessary, and I don't think there's kind of like this is what we're doing Saturday and this is what they're doing Tuesday. It might be that there is a conversation in the week as to who will probably start on the Saturday and the Tuesday, just because of like planning purposes. But I don't think it's as cut and dry as you might suggest.
no,
Although I
think
feel like
that's
you're suggesting it for the point of conversation as
fair.
opposed to something you believe.
Yeah, very much playing devil's advocate. I don't believe it for a second. But with that in mind, then let's get down to the finer detail then and see how we think this lineup's going to look. So I don't think it's even a question in anybody's mind anymore. Daniel Peretz in goal, first choice goalkeeper for this season and next, hopefully. Put it
Yeah,
in,
with any luck.
chisel it in stone, get it signed. His dad wants him to stay. He said it on TikTok. Happy days.
The controversial opinion that you supposedly shared with me, which you think is that over time probably better than Rambo, I'm thinking isn't actually a controversial opinion because
That's
on
great.
wages alone and I just want to say insanity and like I feel like when your dad has that level of belief in you, where it's like, yeah, my son's the best keeper in the world, you're like, do you know what? Maybe we'll keep you forever.
Yeah,
So
great.
so yeah,
The right level of eccentric, right? It's a bit
yes.
like Ponda, just You know, yeah. Sorry, immediately just think of the video of Tonda smiling at Phil Parkinson and shaking his hand, and then immediately going back to
Oh,
Warlock.
the most
So
meme
good.
thing of the internet since the Wrexham game. Yes, you're right. It brings me pure joy because somebody did it like a retweet, which was like any person that's worth customer service, and I hugely relate to that. Smiling and laughing, immediately go into the back room, and just every emotion drops off of your face. It's yeah, glad
That's
that
it.
we have it as manager.
That's it. Next up, Brian Manning, probably,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
These are
Brian
the
Manning,
scarier
probably.
positions. Nice to see Wellington back in getting some minutes.
Yeah, it
But
just I think he's there. He's there. He can get some more minutes if needs be, and but I don't see him starting over Manning at the moment.
yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it's still a point of concern for me I hope that Bree stays fit for every single game this season because still a critical part, but look, that's a bridge that we'll cross as and when we get to it, I suppose. Stevens was back in on Tuesday. Do you think he's like back to full fitness and ready to be back straight in tomorrow, or do we think Wood comes back in?
I think considering he was out for a significant period of time, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Wood. But
Hmm.
if if he was just more precautionary than anything, and he's fit and ready, I think that considering we're like the sort of last charge of the season, from the character that he is, I think that he'd want to play as much as he possibly can. So I think that if he's rested, it's not due to his own decision, put it that way.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I mean, the nice enviable position where it doesn't really matter. Pick either. I'm happy.
Correct.
It's going to go well. I think they both had good games in the last week. Great. What a lovely position to be in. Moving on up to the middle of the park, then I kind of feel like Flynn Downs is one of the first names on the team sheet because of what he. Now that he's back to himself, back to firing properly, we've seen how key. We've seen the same key player that we saw under Russell Martin, right? He was so
Yes.
important to that promotion season, and he is back to and
Doing it again.
probably even higher than that level now. I think.
I would say so.
Uh, I would say for me, first name on the team sheet. So, who would you play alongside him? Is it Charles again, or Yander, or Bragg?
I think this is the problem. The middle of the park. We've had this discussion. We keep having this discussion. This has become like the Peretz discussion. I don't really mind. Like the only one I'd really be surprised to see is Romeo. Like that's basically it. Like at this point, he's more here in an advisory role than anything anyway. So I'd be very surprised if we saw, yeah, like he's the only one. If not, I'm happy for Bragg to go there. I think it will either be Charles or Yander. Maybe Charles takes a break and Yander steps in so Charles can come in and score a screamer later on. Who knows? I'm not really
Yeah.
bothered, and it's hard to predict because it's such a interchangeable part of the squad, right?
Yeah, all of those players seem to have great chemistry with each other. We haven't seen a combination of two of them struggle together. They all seem to gel well. They all seem to do the role with confidence. Um, Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know what the right answer is for that starting position, but all of them feel right. So whoever is fine. Um, I feel like maybe Yander comes back in, but I don't know. I've got no real basis for that other than just feel. So it's great. Moving slightly further up the pitch, then Azaz, obviously a key part, I think, in all of the play, to be honest. He was sensational against Wrexham.
Yes,
And
agreed.
if he could head a ball, he would be our sole top scorer this season, or not joint top scorer. But, I mean, yeah,
There's a
that
chance
doesn't
for him
take
to
away from
overtake
how
it, isn't
good
it?
he was, right? But he's. So,
Again,
so yeah, Azaz for me, starting. Yeah, your thoughts?
I have absolutely, yeah. Who else would you start? Because again, like the only person that really plays in that position other than him at the moment for our team is Cam Archer, and I just don't really see that happening. Maybe
Yeah,
later on in the game he comes on, but like Azaz is a bolt-on starter, right? If you're looking at the spine of
yeah,
our team now, realistically, it's Perret, it's Harwood, Bellis, and Bree. It's almost have to say Manning because again he was actually one of the better players in the Prem season. Then you've
yeah.
got Downs in the middle, and then you've got Azaz, and currently obviously Cienza. Matsky's putting in a good application considering the amount of goals he's tallying up.
Mm.
But Fellows is also very, very good at the distribution side of things. And then Stewart and Laren are both scoring. So
Yeah.
this is the problem, Greg, is you're like, well, obviously Azaz. I'm like, well, yeah, he's the spine of the team.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously Striker, you talk about like who's the spine of our team currently, and it's like, well, actually either of them at all, because both are coming on, both are scoring, both want
I
to be in
kind of assume Stewart will start this game because Laren started the last one, and they just seem to be taking it in turns, trying to do like a half each,
Doesn't really matter.
or just over a half each, and that's fine. That works great.
Yeah,
Long may it
completely
continue.
fine.
Yeah, Leo's an interesting one. I don't know if obviously he didn't start on Tuesday. Obviously, we're not really sure what he was out with, how bad it was, how much, if any, of it he's still carrying. But if he's fit enough to start, you kind of think we'll start him. But even if we don't, Sammy Edozie stepped into that role beautifully.
Sammy Edozie coming back into the squad. I wanted to briefly talk about that because, again, I know we've kind of touched on the fact that he, went out and he was going to go potentially transferred away, and that didn't really happen. And the fact that if you look at, other than maybe Solomana, he's one of the players that being out for a significantly, large amount of time, has come back in and instantly been able to make an impact, and is just coming on, doing his stuff, coming off. He's not getting probably the full 90s that he'd want, but then again, a lot of players don't nowadays. I think there was an article not too long about like the rise of the sort of 60-minute player or whatever. But I'm so impressed by his ability to kind of just be out for 6 months and not be able to play and not really be in the plans, and then a transfers potentially fall through, and then him to just be able to take all of that on the chin, show a level of maturity that a lot of players don't nowadays, come back into the squad, make an impact, and then consider himself a viable choice in our squad. Like he wasn't really, other than preseason, he was never going to appear in under any of these previous games, right? We talk about these Will Still stuff. You kind of forget he was even a Saints player at that point.
Yeah.
But having him has almost been like an extra bolstering transfer, right? It is like having an extra player that came back in January, that came in January. Like we've transferred someone in new, and I just think it's the attitude and the way that he handled not playing for a while and coming back into the squad. It just shows a level of maturity that I think deserves praise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
no, I think he's been good, and again, nice position. Obviously, I feel like Leo starts if he's fit. If not, perfectly happy that Sammy will do a job for it. Yeah, you're right. The right hand side, interesting again. I kind of feel like Matsky's carved a path to be that first choice on the right hand side. And so if he's fit, I would expect to see him starting, especially as he kind of didn't start last week on Saturday. So, but yeah, you're right. Fellows brings something completely different to the team. But again, the ability to have either of those players off the bench to make that impact is a huge difference as well. So, yeah, I kind of think the optimal lineup that we'll be looking for on Saturday is Leo, Matsky, Stewart. But again, as with the rest of the team sheet, whatever Tonda names, who's going to question him at this point? It won't be me.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that, mate.
Right, mate. Let's get to how the game looks, how the game lands. As always, you love a little AI analysis of the historical stats. 7 matches in the data set, of course, one being this season in our games against Derby. 2 wins for the Saints and 5 draws on record. No wins for Derby, interestingly. Going back as far as 2008, that's nuts. I mean, that probably shows I guess, what they will expect coming into the game. The main pick from the summary is a Southampton win. The market backs them. The balance of expected goals, home form supports a home victory. And shockingly, it's expecting the scorelines at, hazard a guess?
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Both teams to score over 2.5 goals, yes. Uh,
Is it just conglomerating every game ever played? And then if a team gets a win, it just assumes it's 2-1? Because that's the vibe I'm getting from this, as opposed to specifically the stats of the games that are. Do you know what? That's not an
who
argument.
knows, mate? Who knows? What
2-0, there you go.
2-0, that's what you're thinking?
2-0, maybe 3. I don't want to, I don't know, I just don't want to be greedy. It just seems so greedy. I know we won by 5 this week. It's almost like the universe needs to balance itself out a little bit. So I guess 2. Let's have a good Leo Cienza goal.
Yeah.
And maybe a Ross Stewart goal. Why not, to keep his streak going?
Yeah. Where are we scoring in the game? Early, late, in the middle?
One in the first, one in the second. There you go. Keep things entertaining both sides. You get to see a goal your end. Happy days.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good, mate. I'll take it every day of the week. What do I think? Well, look, Derby are gonna, if Derby have any sense about them at all, they're going to be coming at this game and playing a low block and trying to stop us with all of the dark arts, and unlocking those teams is not impossible for this Saints team. We've seen it done now a couple of times, but it is difficult and can be difficult. I don't know. I'm kind of in two minds. Part of me thinks maybe we sort of snatch a 1-0 because of that. But also, I don't know, I kind of feel like if they come with that mindset, the way and the confidence our team are going to start with and the buzz around St Mary's at the moment, we're quite liable to go and score early and then just leave them flailing without a real game plan and maybe take it to the extreme. So let's not go with the boring 1-0. No one wants to see that. 5-0 Saints.
So you know what I said about getting greedy?
I just fancy it, and shout out to my nipper who predicts that for every game. It's going to come true at some point, right? It's
maybe.
Goals. Let's have a Stewart goal, an Azaz goal, a Laren goal, a Tom Fellows goal, because it's been a while since I've predicted one, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis header. Fully rounded. Yeah. And we'll get 3 of them. Hang
on. Did you predict a Tom Fellows goal in there? Did you sneak that in and think I didn't hear?
Yeah, I did sneak that in, mate. Yeah.
Right. Well, then your predictions out the window, mate. Okay, that's fine. Good to know.
It's been coming. He's been getting closer. Some of his shots against Arsenal were really good.
Yeah.
Drew an incredibly good save. So
wish they were in the back of the net.
Mate, it's coming. It's going to come sooner or later. So I haven't predicted it in a while. I've been dodging the prediction, trying to counter curse, but
yeah. So then he's been getting closer and closer and closer, and now you've put him back to set one. You've reset the whole thing, mate. That's it.
I'm excited to get down to St Mary's this weekend. I think it's going to be buzzing. Hopefully the sun will be out. Just an incredible time to enjoy being a Saints fan.
Agreed.
And I cannot wait. And you'll be there as well, mate. So let's enjoy it. And for sure. Let's have a good one. Let's smash it. That is all that we have got time for today. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you as always, Zach, for joining me. Let us know your thoughts, your score predictions in the comments on the socials. We are Daily Saints Pod, absolutely everywhere. X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If it's a social network, we're on it. With Daily Saints Pod. Hit us up. Let us know your score predictions. We love reading the comments, and it keeps us going. It's great. And while you're there, why not drop us a like, a subscribe, or a follow? because it helps us out so much. We will be back after the game to talk about it, whatever happens. And that's a much more cheerily whatever happens than it was earlier in the season, let's be honest. We will be here to talk about it, though, as always. But until then, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Enjoy the game, enjoy the football, and most importantly, come on, you Saints.
This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.